What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero build, going over what I think they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now, which is very unique because I am recording this on Fortnite's community day. So we have a lot of temporary changes for today only. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Comment down below what you think of community day, but I'm also interested to hear what your favorite and least favorite things or parts of this season were, because I feel like the season has been very good, but in typical Fortnite fashion, it gets a lot of hate. But I like I said, I think this season has been very good. So if this guy would eliminate me, that would be great. Thank you, sir. My favorite part was probably just the rivalry system and the way content was introduced to the game through that, and also the huge zero build overhaul that we had in the start of Act 3, where we got like the pocket items, unlimited sprint with the pickaxe out, the starting pistol, the change to landing. That I think was the best zero build update we've ever had. It's probably the most major zero build update we've ever had, and I think it has made the game a lot better, even if some of the potential of those changes weren't the most like realized in this season, because of just like how fast-paced everything was and how much mobility we had. As far as community day goes, there's rare chests everywhere. Every POI is a rare POI, and I think there's just all rare chests all over the map. We have the finger guns back in the loot pool today, and they were nerfed in this week's update, but they're still incredibly good, and the headshot damage on them is still insane. There's a golden firework flare gun. You can see it on this player's pickaxe, and when you shoot it into the sky, it'll write your name in the sky. 5x rivalry credits, so each bounty you complete, you'll get 50 credits instead of 10. Double XP. You can now carry 8 slices of pizza. You see this player's back is gigantic, and they have 14 slices in their inventory. And I think that's about it. I think the most impactful changes are definitely the finger guns and every POI being a rare POI. So we're going to be on board with rotational jam here. Not too much to talk about in the early game. That's why I kind of just talked about, like, you know, what my favorite parts of the season were to answer the question that I asked you guys. My least favorite part, I think, would probably just be the gloves. Oh, there's a player in here, I think. I'm going to shockwave up. They got the finger gun, so he's got to watch out. He can get absolutely melted. He's going to chase on the launch pad. And I feel like chasing on a launch pad, in the past, I always thought it was so terrible, but probably with the free fall system, it's not as bad. But that fight was well played. He walked into that building, heard the players above him, immediately just shockwaves out of there using the shockwave pocket item, and that's one of the huge impactful or like benefits of having the shockwave pocket item compared to the overdrives, that you can actually shockwave through buildings like that to get out of those bad situations and not have to like play the awkwardness of, like, you know, trying to go through the door and getting shot. He probably could have also just ran through the door and uppercut it up, and it would have been good. But from there, he gets, you know, decent early damage with the Thunderburst SMG, and then he just keeps that pressure and doesn't let that enemy like try to reset or anything. One thing about the finger guns is that the swap time on them is kind of bad. If you like try to shoot a shotgun and then swap to them and like swap back and kind of do that, you know, juggling back and forth that we often do with our shotgun and spray weapon, I feel like the finger guns feel incredibly clunky to do that with. And so I think that wouldn't be as much of a problem for this player, since he is using the dual hammer shotguns anyways. But if you're using something like the Chaos or the Pump, it can be a bit of like a problem to actually use those finger guns. I don't really know what this player is doing, by the way. There was a fight that was kind of happening behind him, and instead of third partying that, he's running over here. I'm guessing he has a rival opponent over here. It's kind of unfortunate. I guess not, since he's trying to get one. Maybe not. I don't know what's going on. I was going to say, it's kind of unfortunate we don't see the rivalry circle. But either way, if you are using the finger guns, just be careful. The swap time on them isn't as good. What I would kind of want to do is start the fight, I feel like, with the finger guns, and then swap to the pump to finish, or swap to the chaos to finish. Like, a lot of situations you'll be pushing an enemy with shockwaves or overdrive nades. I want to get as much damage on them there, and then hopefully finish them with one shotgun shot. If you're swapping back and forth between your shotgun and the finger guns, it feels very clunky. I might just be, you know, picky about that, but I think if you use them in game, you'll kind of see what I'm saying. And so the twin hammer shotguns could be a more viable shotgun if you do want to use those. Wasn't there just a player to his left, or am I faded? Did I just imagine somebody crossing to the left side of his screen and then like going towards that board? Maybe I am crazy. I will have to watch it back. But what I was going to say before he got into the fight at that Overwatch building, my least favorite part of this season, I think, would just be the gloves. Okay, there's this person. Never mind. I'm not allowed to talk about this. He gets good damage on this guy. I would want to win this fight ASAP. They're using the tracer pistols, and this is going to be unfortunate for the person we're watching. Okay. I was going to say the tracer pistols are really good at creating distance and keeping distance in a fight. With the gloves, you can kind of do it too, where you dash around with the gloves, but there's more of an animation and a charge up time with the gloves, and so you can punish them in that time. With the tracer pistols, people just like dash and basically teleport around instantly, and that could be really good at keeping range in a fight. And I thought that would like work poorly against this player because they had the twin hammer shotguns, which really want to be like up in the opponent's face. But I think the person using the tracer dashes kind of ran out, and then he was able to just like have the close range fight and win it. I'm surprised things have gone as well with him with the twin hammer shotguns, because I think they're quite bad in the current meta. Like I said, they just want to be up in your opponent's face, and typically if you're up in the opponent's face this season, they're probably just going to glove uppercut you, and then that's something that creates distance. And then also with the tracer pistols being in the game, it's very easy for people to like keep distance. Like I thought the person he was fighting would just keep dashing around with the finger guns and melt him down. Maybe now we have a moment of break to talk about what I've been trying to talk about. But I think my least favorite part of the season probably was the gloves, even though it was an item that I used a lot and it was a fun item to use. It's just the double-edged sword with mobility, and the double-edged sword with like mobility melee weapons especially. A lot of the fights this season kind of became like glove or get gloved, you know? Like you got to uppercut them before they uppercut you, and anytime you're in a close range fight, you run the risk of that happening. And I think that was just kind of an unfortunate part of this season. It's just the way it goes. And then same with like Act 3. Like there's so much mobility in the game right now, which obviously can be fun, and you can play really aggressive and the game can be fast paced. But also at the same time, you run into those players that just like, you know, use the mobility to run constantly, and that's just kind of the double-edged sword of mobility. It has a lot of positives and it has some negatives as well. And a lot of it just comes down to the players. They're using the mercy staff in front of him. So this will be a fight that's hard for him, I think, to play out with the twin hammer shotguns, because this enemy has dashes. And he did get one of their dashes, though, which is good. Can uppercut them. See, though, he uppercuts them, and then they just get sent to Mars, and so they're very quickly out of his range and able to reset. If somebody overdrives and then you uppercut them, they get sent super far, which would have been a problem for any shotgun, but I think with the twin hammer shotguns, a lot of times when you uppercut people, there's just enough distance created between you to where like it's just not that great of a weapon. But it's worked out for this player thus far. Even last season, like the twin hammers were good, but I feel like a lot of what made the twin hammers like really thrive last season was the lack of like a really good spray weapon. A lot of us were using like the Deadeye AR as our main spray weapon, and while it was a great AR, it's just kind of a mid spray weapon, and that made like Pump and Deadeye not as lethal of a combo as like Pump and Thunderburst, or Pump and Pistol, or now Chaos Reloader, or Chaos Reloader and Burst or Pistol. You know, like the spray weapons this season are just significantly better, and the gloves being in the game is why I think the twin hammers have taken much more of a backseat. But it can work out, obviously. Like it's not totally useless, but you're just oftentimes playing into glove range. This player up on the giant rock shooting at him, and oh, they pushed him. Okay, I think they pushed him with the tracer staff or something. He got no audio there. I'm surprised he didn't die for overdriving there. He like overdrive backwards. Good use of dash. Unfortunately, I don't think he's gotten much. Okay, nice. He's getting shot in the back though. I was gonna say, unfortunately, I don't think he's been getting much damage here with the twin hammer shotguns, but I guess he had. He has gold ones now. He's getting chased, though. Luckily, he does have pizza, so he's able to quickly heal. And he's probably gonna try to get to some sort of cover and then just look to turn the fight. But he just keeps not being able to reset. Like, this player's doing a decent job of keeping pressure on him, and then they just pistol him out of the sky. Just both the pistol and the burst do so much damage so quick. And if you're going to play against somebody that's not going to miss with the pistol like that, you're going to go down incredibly fast. But what that Grievous wanted was just to get to some sort of cover and then try to reset, but they just never had an opportunity. And then GG's to that player too. Kind of same thing. Both those players are, you know, opting into that fight. This one shockwaving onto him or overdriving. The other one was standing there trying to beam him. This player that we're now spectating just happened to get more damage there. And then the fight was like basically unwinnable for the Brilliant Bomber before it happened. Now he's getting hopped on. This is the final player, by the way. And I think he's weaker. Oh, that's a good shot. And yeah, that's the way the game goes. It was somewhat slow-paced until just chaotic third-party situation happened. I think that Grievous was playing well for most of the game, but unfortunately, once they got third-partied, like, they weren't able to create a reset. Like, they tried, they got to the bounty board. I think if they went to that house where Genji is, they might have had more of an opportunity to, like, reset the fight. The bounty board wasn't the most cover, but they just got, like, full fried by the pistol, and there wasn't much, you know, opportunity to react. And that's really how this season plays. And I think that would probably be a lot of people's least favorite, or one of their, like, less preferred things about the season, was just, like, how fast the time to kill was. Like, you saw there how quickly people were getting melted by the pistol, getting melted by the thunderburst, getting melted by the combat AR. In a lot of situations, like, the TTK is so fast that you don't have much opportunity to react, and then it really just comes down to who has better timing. Like, of all those, like, final 5 players, I think all of them seemed decent, and probably all could have won the game if the timing went their way. But the timing just went the way it went. And then we had the winner we had. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Community Day and what your favorite and least favorite parts of this season were. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.